So the Timecat Ultra Thin Carbon Fiber case is probably one of the nicer carbon fiber cases that you probably have never heard of. But we're gonna go ahead and talk about it today for the 13 Pro Max because I first found out this case from my S22 Ultra. When I had it, I was like, yeah, I gotta bring this to my iPhone fam. All right, so let's go ahead and take a look at it. Now I did go buy this from Amazon. At the time of this video, this will run you about 40 bucks. They do have a few different color variations that run you a little bit more, around 45 bucks. All right, so you know what you're getting when it comes to that carbon fiber Kevlar-ish type material. All right, so here is the packaging, kind of generic, nothing really too fancy. It says carbon fiber mobile phone shell. All right, so yeah, it's keeping it real real super plain when it comes to it. So when you open it up, you are presented with the case, and then you take it out, there's basically nothing else up in the packaging. All right, so let's go ahead and take a look at it right here. And right offhand, you know it already looks kind of like how later case does in the actual cover, their phone circles and all the sensors when it comes to the cameras. That's kind of what it looks like jumping straight at it. But let's go ahead and step through this case because I kind of like this case and what it has going on, simply because of the all-around protection that it provides. All right, because you know when it comes to thin cases, you usually got your head out or you got your butt out, man. In this case, you're both protected when it comes to both the top and the bottom. So when it comes to that top side, it's going to be completely closed. Now you do get these what I call kind of like relief cuts when it comes to these very thin cases, because that's the kind of the way you'll be able to kind of get it off, and it makes it a little bit easier to get off when you have these little slits. But I'm gonna keep it real with you, man. There's nothing easy about taking this case off, and we'll get to that a little bit later on in the video. All right, now on the left side, you got a very small cutout for your mute toggle, and you have your opening for your volume up and down. Now there are no buttons, you just have the case open, so you'll be actually pressing the actual buttons themselves. So flipping it over on the bottom, you see you do have accurate speaker cutouts, and right there with that lightning port. So that's good to see that they actually took the time to make that actual accurate to the phone. And on that right side, completely closed, but you have that cutout for your power button. And just like I said, you have a hump. All right, so not only is the camera sensors actually got each individual cutouts, it is also raised so you don't have to worry about that camera hump kind of being unprotected. All right, but here is the Achilles heel, man. When you flip it over on the inside, it does not have MagSafe. So for my MagSafe lovers out there, you might want to pass on this one unless you want to give it a chance because you like what it offers, and even though it doesn't have MagSafe. All right, but it doesn't have MagSafe. I would love to see it with MagSafe at that $40 price point, but it is what it is. So let's go ahead and grab the Alpine Green 13 Pro Max, and I'm pretty sure this black color will look good with just about any color case that you get, or you could put it on any color phone, and I'm pretty sure it'll look good. So here's how it's gonna look on the 13 Pro Max. All right, and this is one of these cases that's gonna hide the complete color of your phone. All right, and I'm talking about even when it comes to the camera circles, almost you can't see what, you would never know what color iPhone I had just by looking at this. All right, so very nice clean look. If you are into like the Kevlar, the carbon fiber style cases, this does offer a very clean look. So just stepping around it, as you see that top side, we already know everything is closed, but let's look at the ports at the bottom so you can see how everything is accurate there. And here are the cutouts when it comes to it. Oh, about to drop it. You see all the accurate cutouts. Mute toggle switch is easy to get to. Pressing the buttons isn't that hard as well, even though you're actually pressing the button itself. You already know when it comes to this style, it is a little bit of a different feeling because it does feel like the button is kind of sunken in a little bit, but it is not too bad right there. Now, when you take a look at the lay on the table protection, now you know I have a tempered glass screen protector, but you already know what time it is when it comes to cases like this. All right, these are going to be very thin, minimal style protection. So if you drop it down face first, anytime you may drop this case, just be leery that it may be ugly on the other side when you flip it over. All right, but no lip when it comes to that. So this is a very minimalistic, very thin case. So you got to understand what you got when it comes to this. All right, now how does this case actually fit on the phone itself? It fits crazy tight. I'm talking about to the point where it's hard to get off. All right, like you got to pry it off right here on the corner, and you kind of got to pop that off, and then you kind of got to pry this off, but you can do that. I'm not about to sit here and fight with it on camera. It is a little bit challenging to get out, but once you understand the process of how to get it out, I don't think it's that bad. So, but when you're talking about the fit, I mean, nothing pops off by itself. Everything is up here super solid. there isn't anything wrong with the fit of this case. So that's good to know. And then when you're talking about shaking it and moving it and doing all like that, there's no moving of this case. Nothing feels like it's out of, it's too big, too small for the case. Everything fits really, really well. And then when you're talking about it in your hand, it definitely feels good because it almost feels like you're holding the phone itself without any type case on, because this is literally just one of those carbon fiber shells. And I kind of like what it has going on. All right. I like the material that it has going on. I really think it's a nice material. You look on the back, you see it. I know it's going to show smudges over time, but for right now, with me just handling it right here, it doesn't show a ton of smudges. And it also isn't that slippery. I feel like this material also gives it a fairly decent level of grip. I don't feel like it is that slippery. All right. Now, one thing that I do forget to do is the rock test. I know a lot of people want to see if these rock while you're on the table, but of course it's going to rock with that huge camera hump. On the bottom, no. On the tops, yeah, it's going to have a little bit of rock. All right. So it definitely is going to rock when it comes to that. Now, since this is a thin case, can you still get away with MagSafe? Because some of these thin cases are so thin, you can kind of still steal and get over with MagSafe. But when it comes to this one, it still does work pretty good. Now, of course, it's not going to pick up this base, but you can feel the magnet attached, and it actually works pretty well with MagSafe. Now, when you're talking about using different MagSafe accessories, like let's try the Apple MagSafe battery pack, it'll adhere, but I mean, the connection is weak, but it'll stay up there if you had to use this. I think it will be pretty decent, but the connection is weak. But just initially, I'm shaking it, but you have to really kind of shake it hard, and there it kind of goes flying. But you got to shake it hard to really get it off. But it does adhere just fine, and it'll work. But you got to be a little cautious when you're using something like that. Now, looking at the Apple MagSafe wallet, it adheres just fine, as you can see right here. But once again, I wouldn't trust a wallet with something that doesn't have MagSafe. But I did bring one of the MagSafe wallets that has one of the stronger magnets, and this is going to be the pop socket. And even with the stronger magnet, this does have a nice grip right here. Now this, look, I'm actually pulling it off, and I have to try to pull it off. So really depending on what the magnet strength of the accessory that you're going to try to put up here, you can get away with a little bit. I do feel like you can get away with something like the pop socket MagSafe wallet because it has a very strong magnet inside. All right, so that's going to be it, man. This is going to be the Timecat Ultra Thin case for the iPhone 13 Pro Max. I'm not sure if they make them for the 13 Pro, 13 Mini, but if they do, I will leave the link down in the description below. It's the Amazon affiliate link, so you already know your boy get a little bit of kickback. So if you're a thin case lover out there and you may not live by MagSafe, then the Timecat is going to be the one pick up. You already know it, man. Let me see those flex emojis if you made it to the end of the video. Later.